Hi, and welcome to the Heart of the Home. I'm Chef John Maxwell, and we're here at Meadow Hall in Meadow Event Park in Doswell, Virginia, where every week we get a chance to play with some great Virginia food. Today, we're making a beautiful soup that focuses on tomatoes. Focus is probably the wrong word. It is all about tomatoes, and tomatoes are just popping now, especially in Virginia. The Hanover tomatoes are fantastic. All right, so I've got some boiling water over here, and I've got a tomato, and I'm going to take the core out. All right. And I'm going to make a little X across the back side of it and drop this in for about a minute. Now I'm going to cut it in half and squeeze out the seeds because I don't want any seeds. Now I'm just going to dice this up. Okay, I'm going to add this to that what I diced up a little earlier and get ready to make this soup. Get a little bit of oil. Put that down the bottom of the pot. Add some garlic. You can hear that singing. And some onions. Stir this around. You don't want this to brown. You want this to stay yellow, kind of clear. When it starts to clear, we're going to cool it down with some tomatoes and then drop the heat. We don't want to just drop the heat because the pan itself will stay hot. So we're going to drop the heat, but we're also going to add these cold diced tomatoes. Okay, there we are. And in comes those tomatoes. The cold tomatoes now have cooled down the pan enough, right? So they're not going to brown. They're just going to sit there and simmer. We want the sugars to caramelize, but we don't want the tomatoes to brown too much. All right, these have softened up nice. You can see how they've started to spill out the liquid, making it much more saucy. I've got some crushed tomatoes here that I prepared earlier. I just started out the same way, but then cooked them a little bit longer. So I got this one, and this one, about 3 cups or so of the crushed tomatoes. You can use canned product of this if you want, but it really does affect the flavor, right? And I'll use that on occasion during the winter or times when I can't get good fresh Virginia tomatoes. But if you've got fresh tomatoes, that's the best way to make this soup. Okay, now this has got to sit there and simmer for a couple of minutes. It's smelling beautiful. All right, I'm going to add a little bit more stock to this. That does 2 things. It cools it down a little bit, all right, and add some more flavor. Now, I use chicken stock, but you can certainly use a vegetable stock if you want. You can get those kinds of containers in the grocery store if you don't make your own stock. So you can get a good vegetable stock, and you can make this into a vegan issue or a vegetarian issue. I'm going to add cream, so if you want it to be vegan, you'd have to leave this step out, or maybe use coconut cream instead. All right, so in goes a little bit of cream. A little less than a cup. The recipe's up on the website, so with all the specific measurements. I'm going to cut these into strips. Now, basil is the kind of herb that can bruise easily and will turn dark under heat. So I want to cut it up, but I don't want it to be too small. I want that nice aroma of the basil to come through. Still get the color. All right, in it goes. I need to taste it. All right. Oh, yeah. It's wonderful. It needs a little bit of pepper and a little bit of salt. And we are all set for that. All right, this is pretty much done. All right, tasted it, adjusted it with some salt and pepper, and now I'm ready. So into this bowl it goes. Nice and thick and chunky. And beautiful soup. I'll take this here. I'm going to put a little bit of Parmesan cheese on here. And just a little piece of basil on the top to break up the color. And there we have it. Tomato and basil soup. Beautiful summertime soup. This can be served hot or cold. So join us next week on Heart of the Home, where we get to play with great Virginia food.
Recipes from the Heart of the Home can be found on the Virginia Farm Bureau website at vafb.com, as well as on Chef Maxwell's website at chefjohnmaxwell.com.